Well, hello once again. This is me, Leonard Wells, broadcasting as usual from Haslingden, north of Manchester in the UK, on Sunday the 4th of September 2011. I want to talk to you today about bankers. Personally, I call them wankers. And to me, the meaning of a wanker, apart from the dictionary one, if you'll pardon the pun, is somebody who actually doesn't really do a proper job in life. Hasn't got a proper job. He actually makes money like playing roulette. In other words, he doesn't really contribute to the forward progress of mankind. Now, you will remember that not that long ago, the bankers almost brought the planet to the point of extinction. And the way they did this, some bright spark who probably got £50 million or dollars in bonuses for thinking up the idea, thought up the clever ruse of selling packets of mortgages to other banks, but these were mortgages which were given to anybody in America who could sign his name, whether they could repay or not. And so effectively, these packets of mortgages were going to fail. And what did the banks do? They wrapped them up into packages, into parcels if you like, and sold them on to other banks, who sold them on to other banks. And so the parcels went round and round and round, everybody making money every time they changed hands. But these clever dicks thought up the idea of betting on the fact that they were going to fail anyway, so they would get paid twice over. Now, that's the kind of person I call a wanker. And we really, these days, in the 21st century, shouldn't put up with this kind of roulette. Vince Cable refers to them as spivs. Now, during the war, people who were called spivs actually ran what was called the black market. They were the guys who sold ladies silk nylon stockings for a fortune, when you couldn't buy them for love nor money in the normal course of events. Now, Vince Cable, the business secretary, is proposing that we separate out the retail banking side from this roulette side, the investment arm, if you like, so that if they do the same thing again, they can go bust and we won't have to bail them out as we did last time. Eminently sensible idea. But of course, these clever clogs and their spokesmen and women, and I don't know about you, but I've often heard their spokeswoman from the UK. This is the banker's spokeswoman. And if ever you've heard such mealy-mouthed poppycock, twaddle and balderdash and piffle, she takes the biscuit for that. Mr. Cameron is proposing to water them down because the banks have persuaded him that in the present climate, any restriction on these banks' activities might restrict growth. Well, that's a very clever way of persuading people to do bugger all. And maybe because Mr. Cameron's mates in the city, who probably also went to Eton and wherever else such types of people get their education, which they can afford, maybe they all get their heads together round dinner some weekend and say, well, really, old chap, you know, don't want to do anything to disturb the status quo, old chap, you know. All that kind of claptrap, crap. So, don't let yourself be bamboozled again, Mr. Cameron, like happened with the previous government. Have the courage and the guts to stand up to them like a man. That's me shouting. Stand up to them like a man and remind them that there are poor people in this country earning flumps a blooming week who can hardly afford central heating, let alone paying themselves billions in bonuses. And I hear that one of the threats quietly put about is that some of these banks might move abroad if we're too hard on them, or the poor boys. HSBC might move to Paris. Well, if that's the case, I'll drive the first taxi to take them to the airport, because it will be good riddance to bad rubbish as far as I'm concerned. These people are not responsible. They're worse than bookies. It beggars belief that we could even think about not putting them back in their place. So heaven's sake, Mr. Cameron, get a grip on them. Get a grip on them while there's still chance. If you don't, the next time there's a crash, it may be too bloody late. So goodbye and God bless, while it's still legal in the UK to say God bless. Take care. Bye for now.